Welcome back to the Player Zone YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Just a standalone video here because breaking news has, I guess, sent shockwaves and reverberated through football group chats, football Twitter, football news outlets everywhere. Jurgen Klopp has officially announced his retirement from management, taking a break away come the end of the season. And it's sent shockwaves through many people because of how good his side and his management has been this season. He mentioned coming into the season he was excited by this Liverpool 2.0 team, and we've all been sort of caught in our heels here. And he's announced his retirement, saying he's sort of running out of energy and that he can't purely go on with the way he likes to manage his club going forward. Before I sort of discuss everything, my thoughts about it and what we think for the future for Liverpool, let's just appreciate Jurgen Klopp here. He's been at the club for 8.5 years and has totally revolutionised Liverpool. Just listing his accolades here. He's won the Premier League, the Champions League, the FIFA Club World Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, an Emirates FA Cup, a League Cup, and also an English Community Shield as well. So basically he won everything there to be won as an English manager, and goes to show how special he has been. And you know, as a Manchester United fan, sometimes it's a bit frustrating going up against Jurgen Klopp because he's so good and he's absolutely dominated us for the last 6 odd years quite easily. But you know, year after year, this Liverpool team under his leadership has been a title contender or a top team in the world. Other than for that first season when they finished 8th, they've been great ever since. And he took over a side that really wasn't quite that great and has converted them now to, as I said, top in the globe, best team currently in England on my eyes, and been probably the most consistent team outside of Manchester City amongst all the big top 5 leagues. Have never really had a real bad run, maybe one season there during the COVID year under Jurgen Klopp. But there is management. You've seen this team go through so many iterations, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. The way he's had to mould this team in different ways, play in different ways, and continue to get wins, and that's all down to his great work and his just great managerial mind. It's just such a shame we've lost such a great manager in the Premier League here. As I said, it's come to a massive shock after the interview he released to the club, saying that he wanted to let the fans know he couldn't really keep it a secret because in this modern age you can't really keep secrets, and he wanted to be open and honest. And what he said was, his energy, he really cannot give the same energy that he normally gives. And we know that's synonymous with Jurgen Klopp, him running up and down the touchline, giving the big hugs, pumping the crowd up. That's all of what he has, become to know with Jurgen Klopp. He's that sort of manager that, really plays on the energy, gets involved, and gets his team over the line through his great management. And obviously, he feels like he cannot give that any further, any more energy to give. So he's taking time away from the game, and a fair play to him. He deserves a break with the accolades I mentioned early on there. An absolute superb manager. And you know what, I don't want to be too reactionary, but when you think of great Liverpool managers, obviously Rob Paisley, Bill Shankly, and the likes, and the names can go on there. But Jurgen Klopp has to be put in this discussion now, whether he's sort of greats in terms of Liverpool managers. Turned the team around, in the 50s to the 80s there, Shankly and Paisley, Dalglish later on in the 90s and stuff. They obviously dominated during that period, and as such, those managers did very well. But Jurgen Klopp turned a very poor Liverpool side around. Obviously, they went close under Brendan Rodgers in the Premier League, but in terms of quality of side, they weren't quite there. They hadn't won the league in 20 plus years. And you know what happens? Jurgen Klopp comes around and turns it all around, wins their first Premier League in what felt like an age, takes them to 2 Champions League finals and wins one. He's won every single trophy available to him. So as such, I feel like you just have to put him in that conversation amongst Liverpool great managers. I would love to hear what Liverpool fans think, because I think he's so endearing, and he's just, put a mark at every Liverpool fan's heart through what he's done, the work, the hard work, the energy, the intensity he's put into this team to convert them to being one of Europeans' best and consistently one of the best going around. He's turned a Liverpool team that he inherited, like Mignolet, Sakho, Moreno, Klein, Lucas Leiva, Adam Lallana, Benteke, Ibe, and Ings, these sort of names, and he's converted them into players like Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson, got Ryan Gravenberch there now, Dominic Szoboszlai, Mo Salah, Darwin Núñez, Alexis McAllister, Diaz as well. And that's not mentioning that greatest team, that middle iteration there, where you had Sadio Mane, Jordan Henderson, James Milner, Gini Wijnaldum in that team as well, Roberto Firmino in that sort of the best probably iteration of Liverpool. But he's gone through, as I said, many iterations. You start with that group that had to play, a bit of counter-attack, pinch some games. And he even said he had to sacrifice what he wanted to do early on just to get wins, to get them back into Europe. So he had that style of play where the team wasn't that sort of great quality. Then he brings in great signings off the back of selling probably the best player at the club's last sort of 4 or 5 years prior to him joining in. Philippe Coutinho there, he sold him for a lot of money to Barcelona. Who do you go and sign? You sign Van Dijk, you sign Alisson with that sort of money, and you've got then probably the 2 most consistent centre-backs and goalkeepers since Jurgen Klopp's been in charge. So he's made some big moves, he's grown some big players, he's developed Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. He made James Milner so capable at left-back, central midfield, chucking him in all different positions. He inherited a Mo Salah that was doing great in the Serie A, but was a reject at Chelsea and made him into probably one of the best Premier League wingers of all time. And you've got the great, like Sadio Mane, a Southampton player that was, really unproven, made him one of the greats and one of the best that the Premier League has ever seen. All these different players in different moments. The Trent Alexander-Arnold moment, corner taking quickly, Origi sort of stuff. Like, there's so many great moments under Jurgen Klopp, and obviously the moments are a separate thing, but the players as well. He's developed some great players. He's developed a great system. You start with that counter-attacking system, then you go to that high-pressing, play on the edge of the halfway line sort of system where they just lock teams away there and, press them so high up the pitch that it was almost impossible to, get around this suffocating press that they went with, a proper Gegen pressing. And then this new iteration, the Liverpool 2.0, has Jurgen Klopp has sort of, titled it, under Núñez, under this more creative midfielders where you have more possession, you invert the fullbacks a little bit more, you play with a bit more authority in terms of high possession gameplay, less pressing, but more creativity from deep lying positions. So there's definitely 3 iterations of the Liverpool side, and as I said, you can think of that maybe the first year, and then maybe when they had that Van Dijk injury that first season there, they're the only real 2 seasons I can point to that have been bad in his 8.5 years now, going on his 9th. Where they haven't really been in the running for any trophies at all. But other than that, every other season they've been there or thereabouts in most trophies, European successes, European great runs, Premier League title races against Manchester City for the last 7 years, it feels like. And I think that leads me into another point. I know this is just a ramble sort of a bit of a video here, but just there's so much to talk about. He's gone against Pep Guardiola for the last 5 to 6 years and taken them all the way every single year. The amount of last day escape City have made, or last days where Liverpool were winning the title at certain points, then going to lose it. In any other era, he goes and wins here 5 or 6 Premier Leagues, maybe 3 or 4 FA Cups and a few Carabao Cups. You know how good they've been in the Carabao Cup as of recently, but maybe a bit of a wrong era in terms of he could have gone down as one of the best managers in Liverpool's history if the ball trophies come to back it up. But in terms of his style of play, the constant evolution, taking it to Pep Guardiola, who many will regard as the best manager of all time, just goes to show how special this man is. And for me, as a Manchester United fan, obviously I said I hate him because he goes and beats us so many times, but I can't deny that I absolutely adore what this manager does, the way he gets players along for the ride and develops players, and the way he has the connection with the fans. I just think there's no manager that has endeared himself and absorbed himself in the culture like Jurgen Klopp has done. He has become a true Liverpool person, thick and thin. He's, become one with the culture. The fans love him. He loves the fans. That connection where he goes up to the cop and gives the big fist. It's something to just be adored. You wish every club had a manager like Jurgen Klopp, and it just to show how special he really can be. And obviously, he said in his press conference and his interview, he wants this season to be like normal and them to go on and win trophies. Obviously, they're in the Europa League knockouts now. They're into the Carabao Cup final, still in the FA Cup, top of the Premier League. They could go and do a bit of a poor man's treble, but it's still there. They can go to a treble. They can go win a few trophies this season. That would be probably the right way to send off Jurgen Klopp, is to maybe take out the Premier League, beat Man City to it this year, win a Carabao Cup, maybe even the Europa League, win a treble there with those 3 trophies, and really send him off in the right way, because this manager deserves so much more. And it's a sad day for Premier League and world football. You lose such a character like Jurgen Klopp and his style of football. And it leaves Liverpool in a bit of a hole. I'd love to hear what Liverpool fans think of how they feel at this current point in time with Jurgen Klopp stepping away from management of football, because that's a part of your club now you're going to lose, that sort of identity that he's brought along. And it's interesting to see who will step into that mould. I know we're looking a little bit further on, just away from Jurgen Klopp for a little bit, because me and Nathan sat here on this couch and jokingly said about Xavi Alonso filling in that role perfectly in the next few years or so, but the next few years might turn out to be next season. Xavi Alonso right now leading the Bundesliga, the only team being Leverkusen without losing a single game in all competitions so far this season. Absolutely dominating. And under Xavi Alonso, a bit of a different shape, sometimes a 3, sometimes a 5, can be a 4, but a team that will get on the front foot, play high possession football, really force teams back into their own half there, high possession, creative style of football that will really suit this new Liverpool 2.0. And I wouldn't be surprised if Xabi Alonso takes the reins and Liverpool pays him out to come back to the club and take over the reins of Jurgen Klopp here, because it seems like a perfect switch in my eyes. Let me know what you think, actually, if there's any other managers, especially Liverpool fans, that could fill that Jurgen Klopp void. But it's definitely a massive void left behind, and just someone that in the Premier League we're going to miss. Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, these guys have been the identity of the modern Premier League era we've had over the last sort of 5 to 10 years. These guys have been running the league in many regards. So really disappointed to see him go. Obviously, all the best to him. He's obviously made a tough call. You can tell he's such a passionate man. So to step away from football and step away from Liverpool must have been a big deal for him. It'll be interesting to see how long he can stay away from football, because I can imagine he'd be chomping at the bit to come back in a few years' time. And once he's got that energy back up and recovered the batteries to come back, maybe in a German national coach or maybe in another club. Obviously, I'm not doubting he'll have a fair few years away from football to just recharge those batteries, but I just cannot see him staying away for much longer than that. Obviously, in terms of this season, very exciting for Liverpool. As I said, in all the different trophies right now, a chance to basically go and win everything. And they're looking like at the moment, this Liverpool 2.0 that Klopp's put together has a chance to do something special. And, hopefully when Mo Salah comes back and you've got that really great midfield in there, Virgil van Dijk back to his best form, Alisson playing well as well. You found Gomez a left back as well. It's turned out to be one of the greater finds of the season. They could go and win some serious trophy this year. And I think that's what Jurgen Klopp want to do. Finish on an absolute high, win a Premier League, win maybe a cup in there as well, and finish on at least 2 trophies and send out his, management spell here at Liverpool in the right way. But definitely had to make a video on it, because I know it's been a bit of a ramble, but it's just a manager that I absolutely adore. Someone as a Man United fan to say that says a lot, but I absolutely love this guy. From his work at Dortmund to his work now at Liverpool, he's just a super professional, one of the greatest managers we've had, especially in this era here. Might not have the accolades in terms of the amount of trophies, but he's done it. He's come here to England, he's won it all, and you can't take that away from Jurgen Klopp. A massive loss for the Premier League, for world of football, for characters in the game. It's just, a big loss for football in general. So definitely something I have to touch on, and interesting to see where Liverpool go from here on in. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know, Liverpool fans, football fans, what you think of this this retirement or stepping away from football for Jurgen Klopp. Where did Liverpool go from here? Where does Jurgen Klopp go from here? How much impact do you reckon Jurgen Klopp's made on the Premier League and world football? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Make sure to smash a like on this video. Subscribe to the Players Zone channel for more football-based content, real-life content, podcast content. It's all happening here. A big year ahead here on the channel. And also, share the channel with mates who would enjoy this other content. That would be really much appreciated. That all being said, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Obviously, FA Cup on the weekend. Enjoy the FA Cup. And I'll see you guys on the video very, very soon. Until then, see you later.